Gala Games just dropped a bomb, and you are not going to believe this information that they didn't even put out a release about that we're going to cover today, and is going to change Gala forever. Are you ready? Welcome back, agents. So we're here with a special update edition here on one of our favorite projects out there, Gala. Gala is doing some amazing things here in blockchain, and they have been pushing out some pretty fire updates for their games here recently. But what we haven't heard a lot about is Project Geary, which is their own layer 1 game-focused blockchain. Now, they just recently launched some information about this, and nobody's been talking about it. But we got the inside scoop for you guys here today, and we got to talk about this because this is big and it is going to change everything for Gala and everything you see in their ecosystem going forward here in 2023. Let's start off by reading this announcement and breaking down exactly what it means and why this is important, because if you guys own any Gala coin, you need to know about this right now. Let's check it out. So this was the announcement that came out, and I'm going to read this out because it's very important. So in the usual style of Gala, we've done something but haven't really made a huge public issue out of it. I like to think of Gala as the company of doers versus sayers. We launched a layer 1 blockchain recently and now have a bridge to ETH. Not only do we have a game operating on said blockchain, but our Gala token is the gas token for this layer 1. We didn't contact any PR firms to trumpet this news worldwide. We just worked and worked and worked until it was finished. But here's the really cool part. We have a ton of games coming to this layer 1 blockchain. Townstar, Grit, Legends Reborn, Champions Arena, Last Expedition, Mirandus, Superior, Echoes of Empire, BattleStar Galactica, The Walking Dead, and more. They're all coming. All these games will have NFTs on their layer 1, and all these games will use Gala as its gas token. This is actually a huge accomplishment in the process of becoming a true legendary feat. I couldn't agree more. I mean, like, there's so much to unpack there, right? When you talk about people asking me all the time, like, what about Gala coin? What are your price predictions, Stats? I'm like, I think it's going to be huge, man. And they're like, but the layer 1 blockchain, what are they going to do? Well, here you go. They stealth launched Project Gala, right? AKA Gala Chain, which is now Project Gala, which still doesn't have the final name of their blockchain just yet. It may stay Geary, who knows? But they have already rolled out this functionality to be able to do a lot of these things. And we're going to talk about what that is here in just a second. But in general, Gala coin for sure is going to be the coin that is going to be used for all the gas fees on this layer 1, right? Very important to note this. Very important to know this, because without that functionality, the price for Gala is not really going to do much, but this is going to send Gala coin skyrocketing in 2023 because there are going to be so many games releasing and launching in 2023 that they've been producing, and they're all going to need Gala coin for those fees. Now, there's some really cool things about Geary in general that we want to talk about, right? Number one, faster transactions. Right? Faster transactions, reduced impact on the environment, lower network fees, which are great, lower minting costs, none of this stuff free, but lower interoperability throughout the entire Gala chain. And then also that big thing, interoperability to Ethereum, right? Being able to port things from, Geary, from their layer 1 blockchain over to Ethereum is going to be very important as well. So they've rolled all these things out here to, in kind of stealth mode with not really saying a lot. This is going to be really huge. I'm going to show you guys here another reason why this is also big for what's going on right now, and it has to do with SpiderTanks. So if you want to test this out and you want to see what's going on, you could already jump into SpiderTanks and use the testnet Geary to be able to port things over. But when I say testnet, but it's live, but you couldn't extract assets out of it. So people earning these Silk tokens in SpiderTanks have just been sitting on them. You couldn't do anything. You really couldn't cash them out, we'll say, cash them out. But with the release of this update here, where the Project Geary blockchain is essentially live, you are now able to cash out of SpiderTanks. That's going to be a big one. Let's go take a look at what that means too here when it comes to those details and why they're important for this very first step for Gala Chain and for SpiderTanks kind of leading the charge here with this new chain and why it's important. What they're rolling out here with SpiderTanks is called the honor system. This is actually a pretty clever way of incorporating play turn elements, but not having it be extractive, which we know has been a problem with a lot of other games. Actually, oh, sorry about that. So what we're gonna look at here is kind of what that really means. So this new honor system is going to, rate you based upon negative and positive actions you're taking with the game. Your honor system can go from 0 to 1200, and based upon that honor score is how much you'll actually be getting of earnings from a full potential amount of victory point earnings. So as we can see here, if you have 900 out of 1200 honor, you're going to be getting about 75% of whatever victory points you're getting. So you're going to earn less. And so we say, okay, well then what are these negative and positive actions? Well, they break that down. The first thing is like, hey, you're going to get a little bit of a boost. You increase your honor each day, depending on the highest tank part or tank that you've won with that day. So you get a boost there, and you can see here's the breakdown numbers for that. So you're getting a boost for that. You get a boost of honor if you run a planetary node. You're going to get 6 points a day for that. You're going to get a big boost if you're bridging Silk from Ethereum to Geary. Like we said, Silk has an Ethereum counterpart here. Right? So if you're bridging it from mainnet Ethereum over to Geary, then you're also going to get a boost there with a cap, right? With a cap up to 10,000 Silk, which equals about 240 honor that you could do per day. Now we talk about negative. The biggest negative is taking Silk out of the ecosystem from Project Gala, right, in your Geary wallet to Ethereum. So people that are essentially cashing out, right? So if you're being extractive, you're going to get a penalty to your honor. Now they say, hey, if you're not being crazy over the top, you're not going to see a massive reduction in honor. But they give a good example here of like, if you had 1,000 Silk and you decide today to cash out or bridge out, as they call it, 500 Silk of that 50%, you'd lose 50% of your honor. So that's a pretty big loss there. There's going to be no big cash outs. You're going to have to do a little bit at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. It also is negative if you're sending Silk to another Geary wallet. So they consider that also a cash out, which could be exploited, right, if that was not the case. And so one of the things that is not considered a cash out, if you're using Silk to buy things in the Gala Games store, which makes total sense. We don't want to penalize people for spinning the Gala store using Silk. That wouldn't make sense, right? So they're giving you, a little bit of a slide on that one, which of course they want to incentivize people to spin the Silk in the store so they'll take it back from them. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Now they say like, okay, well, in general, if a player has 10,000 Silk and they're only taking about 1% out per day, they won't see much of a difference here. But what this means is this is a big first test, a very large first test, I think, for Geary as a blockchain, and seeing how it's going to work with other ecosystems and being able to bridge things out, or in particular from Geary to Ethereum and back and forth, because that is going to be the biggest detractor for a game that has play to earn elements. If you can't do that, then people are not going to want to be able to play. But if they're doing it too much, then the game goes down in flames, right? And we don't want that either. But like I said, I think that Gala really, has figured it out here, and they kind of just stealth launched this. They didn't tell anybody when their main net was going to come, and boom, they just come with this announcement, and we're sitting here like, oh, wow, okay, let's go. This is hot, man. This is a big thing. This means for sure that we're going to see high utility for Gala, and I would start. And me personally, I am going to start stacking some Gala coins, here on the dip as we keep seeing it, because this makes sense to me. And we're going to see all these games using this, and hopefully, we'll have a great layer one that is focused on games and, has all the things we need: fast transaction times, low fees, and, really pushes the whole Gala ecosystem forward with all the games we love already. So there we go, guys. This is big news. If you're a Gala token holder, I want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you think this is big? Were you surprised that they didn't push this out? That more people aren't, shouting this from a mountain? I a little bit was. I want to put a spotlight in because I love what Gala is doing, and I hope you guys do too. But that's all we have for today, agents. Till next time, Secret Agent Stash, over and out.